when I asked where these beautiful holiday boats were located. Our system said that we were actually looking at a Clinton campaign rally, so that can't be true. But these are such sweet boats decorated for the holiday season. That one's got a John Wayne movie, it looks like, playing on it. That's too cool. How fun are these? We're gonna take a look at, we'll continue to get some live aerials of this very cool event. I'll find out exactly where it's located for you. And then we have an interview coming up with the director of Offline. Very fun. And then some highlights from our 5 and 6 o'clock. Oh, this is in Newport, California, Christmas Boat Parade. Newport, California, Christmas Boat Parade. So thanks so much for spending your evening with me, and welcome to Fox 10 News Now. All right, everyone, thank you so much for your patience. We were just watching the Christmas boat parade out of Newport, California. Some of the most beautiful scenery we've seen today, as we've been covering everything from Donald Trump in Mesa to some of those protests out of Baltimore. So we were on a lighter note, and we're going to head into almost a more serious direction now, but I think that it's something that we definitely need to talk about. On the phone with me right now, I have Patria Patrick, the director of a new documentary called Offline, and she's going to, that's her pretty face in the corner right there, she's going to watch the trailer with us here, and then after the trailer we're going to go into a conversation more about this film and why it's important that you see it. So let's watch that trailer together, and then on the other side we're going to have a conversation with Patria Patrick, and feel free to tweet me any questions you have for her once you get a better idea of what this documentary is about. So thank you so much for your patience, and we're going to watch that trailer right now.
Astrophysicists have seen coronal mass ejections 10,000 times the size of the Carrington event. 10,000 times the size.
11 different congressional studies have demonstrated that the power grid's vulnerable and can be taken down by an EMP or by natural means or a cyber attack, and yet virtually nothing has been done to address it.
The electric grid goes down, within days all the other critical infrastructures will come crashing down too.
You want to see the economy collapse, unplug the electricity.
We're talking big sums of money as far as impacts on the economy itself.
If an EMP attack happened or a major solar storm, it would bankrupt the insurance companies.
Well, we had a major meeting at the headquarters of Lloyd's of London where they're the major underwriters to most of the insurance policies. They see the catastrophic liability that may be here for them.
Trifle all you want with stocks and bonds, but if there's no electrical power, there's no economy.
This is so big that people can't get their minds around it. It just may be so shocking.
If our grid goes down, you can't cook, you're not going to heat anything, you can't run any of your medical supplies, you can't talk on your phone, you can't take money out of a bank, and we turn into total chaos.
There have been other documentaries that have talked about EMP. They haven't talked about the politics of EMP. It's the politics of EMP that's going to get us killed.
They are resisting standards because once you levy a standard that they have to protect, for whatever reason the protection is not installed or it fails, then they are liable.
It is the industry writing the rules, is what it is.
This benchmark standard that's being developed by the Geomagnetic Disturbance Task Force people, they have developed a model that systematically underreports the level of GIC current. That will show that they rarely will get that high a level of geomagnetic disturbance, so they won't have to buy the protective equipment.
Utilities don't want to invest the billions of dollars to prevent against something. They want the government to pay for that.
Even now it's hard to get upper management to talk about the entire EMP and solar flare part of the threat.
There's also a certain sense that, well, this isn't going to happen on my watch.
When there's an event happening on the sun that will impact Earth, we usually have a general warning 2 or 3 days ahead of time. Some of the most important warnings we only get 20 minutes before.
We really don't have all that much knowledge of what the sun is capable of.
Since the early 1960s to the present day, that power grid now acts like an antenna.
The wave of magnetic force rides along transmission lines, and it can destroy transformers. You destroy the transformer and you're not operating.
You know, this country can't survive 18 months without electricity.
First NERC didn't even circulate this Kaplan and Radansky white paper on the benchmark under reporting the threat.
Within a couple of days, maybe 10 days, the refrigerators and the emergency generators in the hospitals run out. All the medicines go bad, all the people on life support die. That's the nature of the problem, and no matter which of the threats, you end up in the same place. Society collapses.
This is the ultimate transpartisan issue because we all have a stake in it.
The United States military is on the same grid that we civilians are on. Are you kidding?
We can't expect that in an event like this, that the cavalry will come to our aid, because they won't be able to move. We'll be on our own. Nobody gets away from this free.
If the entire U.S. power grid collapses, all of us in society are going to be on that crash.
Wow. All right, Patria, before we get into some of the heavier stuff, I was looking at your resume and I was looking at some of the things that, the Huffington Post and several critics have said about you. They're all very gracious about you, and as a filmmaker and as somebody that, let's see, what specifically was said? They said that American Empire, an act of collective madness, was described by the Huffington Post as a revolution in film. CNN said that the film was essential viewing, and Oliver Stone called it a provocative film. So tell me more about who you are and how your journey led you to something like Offline, how your journey led you to telling this story.
Oh, I've been doing so much research with films like American Empire, an act of collective madness. And in that research, I've gained confidentiality of many experts and people within different echelons. And so when the grid information became available, someone called me and started to give me the rundown on what was happening. Now, it was very interesting because this was national security classified information up until 2008.
Wow.
So I think we'll be one of the very first films to talk about the unclassified information. Maybe not, we won't be the first to talk about a solar storm, no. But the way that a solar storm here affects us in the film Offline is traumatic information to the American public. Something that, even though it was classified information, our enemies and other people did have this information. So it's only fair the American public, you, your listeners, our families, our friends are aware of this so that we can move forward and take action.
And I saw Congressman Trent Franks. He's from right here in Arizona. How did he get involved in this? And how did he get involved in your movie?
Well, he's been informed about this. He's actually in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And once he went to one of the EMP Commission briefings that we had, he became very aware of this very quickly and saw the potential danger for his state and not only for Arizona, but all the states. We're all in the same boat, because if you drive across the United States, you will see transmission lines in each state crisscrossing the whole country. I've driven across the states.
Right.
And what those lines do is they act like a conductor for one of these solar storms hitting. And these solar storms hit all the time. It's just a matter of the different sizes in the storms that we get. But they're always happening, and that's how we get the beautiful aurora borealis up in the northern hemisphere that we love to see. But when these storms are too big, they can knock out the grid, or they can knock out parts of the grid. And we have what we call a cascading effect. If all of the lines and the transmission lines are carrying this current, they can carry it to each substation and cross state lines. A solar storm or an electrical grid down situation does not care about state lines.
Right. Well, Mike, in the movie Offline, is there? I know that it appears by the trailer that it's people telling us this is absolutely going to happen, but is there anything we can do about it? Is this really a situation where you're telling us this is what is inevitably going to happen? Be prepared, or I mean, what are the options for us? It's very scary to think about this coming to fruition, but you're saying it's absolutely going to come to fruition.
It's 100% positively going to happen. That has been statistically proven. However, it's only going to happen to equipment. If one of these solar storms happen, you and I can be sitting down having a cup of coffee, and it can go right next to us, and we wouldn't even notice, because it's an electrical EMP, an electromagnetic force, or a CME they call it, and that is a corona mass ejection. So it hits electrically. So since we're made out of neutrons, we're more soluble in water. It doesn't bother us, but it can bother our computers, and it can especially bother the big transformers that are in our substations. Those are so huge, and they're acting like an antenna. Now, it's 100% sure that a solar storm of a magnitude that will knock out the type of grid we've set up will happen. So the answer would be to look at the grid that we have and figure, how can we protect against that? Now, that's not as easy as it sounds, but then on the other hand, it can be very easy, but time is of essence.
Right.
And so one of the stumbling blocks is, even if I give you the answer, and Trent Franks tomorrow says he'll rush forward and try to take care of it, you still have a 2-year or so when you're implementing the answers to get those on the transformers themselves. So the problem is that no one's decided there's a problem yet, and that's where Trent Franks and people like myself are extremely. We're concerned about this, but we're working night and day to get people to understand, yes, there is this issue.
Because I read that there are no backup transformers. We don't make those in this country. They're made in South Korea and Germany. So is that the 2-year process you're talking about?
Well, that's the 2-year process of ordering the equipment. So that's once we've decided there's a problem.
And then there's a waiting list.
Yes, there's a waiting list for these. And I have to say that other countries are already ordering these because they are protecting their grids. I think you saw in the trailer. We aren't protecting ours with these, not with the knowledge we have yet. So we haven't decided that it's an issue. We've not decided to order backup transformers. And we wouldn't have to order so many if we would protect the ones that we have. And that's what we're going to be leading to in the film. How can we do that? And how can we do that within the window that we have? So let's just look at real quickly what is the scenario of this grid down situation? Why is it so bad if the electricity gets knocked out? I mean, you and I have probably been through a few days without electricity. You know, and what do? We barbecue, and it's not, you know, we use candles. It's kind of fun. It's not so bad.
Well, in Arizona, it's really, really hot. I cannot imagine being without electricity in the middle of the summer here. So, you know.
Well, exactly. But that's what we're not talking about it just being out for 3 days and you being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We're talking about it being out anytime it chooses, and then it not coming back on. Not because normally our blackouts that we have, our brownouts, are from overload of the transformers. So they aren't broken, they aren't destroyed, they're just overloaded and they pop off. So it's not a big deal to bring them back up. Might take a couple days, but they come back up. What we're discussing here is the transformer itself is a coil attached to the big main cables and wires and all of the gadgetry and everything that is the transformer. And these transformers are huge. They're the size of a house. And you have to move them. If we did want backups and did need to replace one, you have to move the street lights, and you have to block all kinds of traffic. You have to, you know, completely take them on a train car. There are only 6 train cars in the whole United States that even move these transformers. They're so huge. It costs hundreds of millions of dollars, and as you said, we don't make them in this country. So the idea is to not let them get destroyed in the first place. So if we talk about this blackout, that it would be a grid down situation if we lost these transformers. It would not be a blackout where we could hope that we could bring them back on again. They would be completely destroyed by this electromagnetic pulse or corona mass ejection wave. So in that case, we would have to completely order new ones. Now, how can we do that if our phones aren't working?
Right.
If our transportation isn't working? If we don't have food, because food won't be able to be delivered or ordered? People, in a very quick moment, especially Arizona and California, Nevada, Washington, where we don't have water. We don't have water in most of our areas. All of our water in California is being pumped in. Those pumps would stop flowing. Our water would become stagnant and quickly carry horrible diseases that would kill most of our population within a very short time.
And this, forgive me if this is an ignorant question, but just hearing what you're saying, and in the environment that we're currently in right now, especially if you watched the debate last night, the GOP debate last night, there was a lot of talk of terror. Is this an instance where, you know, people that want to hurt us are looking at this as, you know, this is a spot where we're vulnerable and somebody might target us specifically here?
Absolutely. And I have another film coming out in, I hope, very soon, and Kimberly and I are talking about that. When can it get out? And it will be talking about that very issue. Yes, it is a weakness, and what is frightening is our military has some backup. They do have some generators, but they can only last so long, and then they have to come back and plug into the civilian electric grid.
Oh, wow.
So how frightening is that? So as the trailer, or I guess I call it a video film clip, it explains that our military is dependent on this. So if our military has no power, yes, we are susceptible to any kind of terrorism. And we will, and I don't think that if our grid went down, we wouldn't even have to worry about any terrorism, because we would be killing each other for our pool water or for the very food sources or medicines that somebody might have, or hospitals that have medicines. And then the terrorists can come walking in and just take over. It would be devastating. We have never seen anything like this. And we're talking about the most sophisticated country in the world having an Achilles heel like this. It is outrageous, and I will say, we have a constitution that says we are to be protected by enemies, from domestic enemies, both foreign and domestic. And so I don't care what, we deserve to be protected. And the energy companies right now are responsible to jump ahead and do this, but they need to be guided as to what to do.
And can I ask you, why is this not more of a focal point? Are they trying, we know that Congressman Trent Franks is now involved after speaking with you and hearing more from you, but why is it not, why aren't we talking about this more? Is it because they're not trying to, do they not want to scare people? I just don't understand why it would be so secretive.
So far, there hasn't been a film that's really been eyeing the problem. When Hollywood wants to make a film, they want to talk about the ride, the mega disaster, and they want to make money on it. And so, really, a documentary talking about the mere facts, they didn't really want that exposed. No, and I don't want people to understand. I am not just sitting out here, the first one to say, wow, all these trade secrets and unclassified information, and letting people be worried that I'm the one exposing this. This has already been known for a very long time. And it's just, as you're saying, why don't we know? That is the big question, and that is why this documentary has to come out. I just don't think people knew before this time. I've been doing the documentary for 5 years because I wanted to get, all the research. There's a lot of research that needed to be done. And then some actions are trying to move forward, but then such as Trent Franks trying to move forward with the SHIELD Act a couple years ago, and that got held up in Congress, we're seeing blockage. So it might not, if the GRID Act would have gone through, or the SHIELD Act, maybe the people wouldn't have needed to know. It would have just been taken care of. But I don't see that Trent Franks is having a lot of hope, and some little things happen, and maybe there's a little bit more hope this year. But I will tell you what will make the difference. If you want Trent Franks to win, if you want me to win, you want you to win. We all need to be aware about this. So it's a household word offline. We should never have to have this worry. We can take care of this. We can fix it. We shouldn't have this threat hanging over our heads. It's not an enemy. It's just our electric companies, and they're just being negligent. They're being lazy. They're being greedy, and they're looking the other way. A lot of it's to do with lobbying and liability, and that's what I think will. What I like about the film is everybody can watch it, and they'll come away a small little, like a mini expert on the subject. This is not brain surgery. You just have to understand. We like our electricity. We like our cell phones. We want our hospitals to work. We want transportation. I want my banking cards to work. I want to be able to have water and have lights and heating. I want the economy to be stable. We all want these things. We all deserve them. We all are good citizens. We pay our taxes. We deserve this. We pay our power bills. But for this to be held over our head and kept secret from us it's unconstitutional, and somebody will be held accountable for this. At one point, the very auto industry faced this same problem where they were being forced to regulate and put seatbelts in and put brakes in and headlights. And they didn't want to do all of that, but they finally were forced to. And the auto industry became regulated. And the aviation industry, same thing happened. One day they were told, hey, we're having too many airplane crashes. We need to take measures, and then the aviation industry was regulated.
Would you say
right
that...
now?
Oh, go ahead.
Just to say, right now, the energy industry is not regulated by anybody but NERC itself, and NERC is just the CEOs of the industry, the energy industry itself. So it's not regulated, and that's why we are facing this. And although I'm not always for regulation on some things, this is one case where they need to be called accountable and held responsible, and liability will, too bad, they're going to be held liable. People die in these situations. And in this situation, if the entire grid was to go down because they're negligible, somebody has to be held accountable, but it would be too late.
Right, absolutely.
And that's where they go, hey, well, by then it's too late, so we don't have to do anything. We can just keep making money and then keep our shareholders happy, and it's all good.
Would you say your objective in making these movies is, to educate? Do you enjoy the process of educating yourself, or are you almost a news junkie, if you will, or is that what your objective is, or is your objective really to educate other people? Do you like that? Do you prefer that aspect of documentary making?
I actually found it like a thriller. I like good thriller movies, and I am a filmmaker, and when I started looking into it, it was just like a thriller. Like there were cover-ups, and there were scandals, and there were payoffs, and you can look at some of the senators and who's paying for their campaigns, and I was just intrigued. I wanted to make just a regular film about it. So anybody out there who wants to put some money behind it, I'd have a great movie for this.
Right.
And it would be really exciting. And the grid is really an interesting. The way it lays out is pretty fascinating. And the way you were mentioning before, it could just be taken down like that. So I was fascinated by that information, and I'm a woman. I think women are very intelligent these days. If there's something that's presented to them, I think they really get involved and interested when they see that there's something fishy going on, something wrong, somebody getting the better of people. It's not right. It's not right what's happening, and somebody needs to step up and do something. And I just feel that I don't think that it's going to happen congressionally fast enough. And so I wanted to support Trent Franks, but I think we need the people to all know this, and then he'll have all the support he needs.
Yeah.
It can't just be a few people that can support him that are aware of it. It has to be all of us. If we all march behind Trent Franks, or we could do in each state, I'll let everybody march behind me in my state of California. I will lead the march in this state, and we will get this done. I think it could happen state by state as opposed to federally, because there's just so much money being thrown from the industry to politicians to look the other way, and that is a real stumbling block. And that's why we have to look to our Constitution, and this is an election year.
Yeah.
We must remember our congressional representatives, if they aren't supporting this number one issue, they should be thrown out. We should get a new one. These people get in there and they make a career out of it.
We're seeing a lot of those right now.
Right now I say, ask your congressperson. You have a good state because you have Trent Franks. You are so lucky. But here in my state, my congressman has no idea. And other states, their congressmen have no idea. And some of the ones who are being aware, are they going to even listen because are they being paid, their campaigns? We have to look at where their contributions come from.
Which is
so we must look to our Constitution. We must look to our Constitution and say, enough is enough. Ask our congressman, are you going to take care of this, the number one security issue in our nation today? Are you standing behind us, and are you going to take care of this? And if they don't answer that question, now you can go up and say, are you going to take care of those transformers? And that's the key thing.
Well, and
it's just one, for everyone to hear, it's one simple answer. Take care of the Transformers. Protect them. And they can watch the film and they can know the quick thing, but I would just ask everyone, go to Reality Zone and get the film.
Yes.
So you feel like you understand what's going on. Get it for Christmas presents to everybody. Get everybody aware about this. Let us not be a nation that was only 250 years old before our lights went out permanently. We need to take care of this. We're never going to be a dynasty if we don't take care of this number one issue right now. I know we have all these many, many issues, and we see that. This is as we said, this is the campaign, big election year, and many of these issues are being brought to the forefront. But I couldn't be on this show tonight without electricity.
I couldn't do my job without it. I know exactly what you're saying. I have been showing Congressman Frank's website. If you go to, and I just clicked out of it, but if you go to franks.house.gov, I believe it was. Yes, franks.house.gov, you can contact Congressman Trent Franks, or you can also tweet him, Facebook him, and show your support for this. I wish I had a direct email or phone number. I'd put it on the screen, but all I have is a website. But that's how people in Arizona can contact him and show him that this is a matter that's extremely important to you, or that you're at least concerned about.
And Kinsey, I'd love to say, we have a Facebook for offline, and it's just up. If everyone wants to go to that and give us a like, that would be great. But eventually what we want to do is get every state protected, because if only Arizona is protected, guess where we're all going to be coming?
That's true. Sorry. We want you to be taken care of in California, too. Okay,
yes,
so do you know what the Facebook URL is for offline? Is it facebook.com/
I don't have it up, but it's offline Facebook. It's just offline Facebook.
Okay.
If you go to Facebook, and you type in offline.
Okay.
Whatever those numbers are, they're not numbers, but yeah, probably the regular / thing, offline, and there's a big picture of a solar storm.
Okay.
And that's us under Patria Patrick. And then if they want the film, which I say is available at realityzone.com, and that makes a great gift. Some people were just going to get them for stocking stuffers for Christmas. But I just pray that everybody will see the seriousness of this and not be desensitized. I'm coming from Hollywood, and we see blockbuster films, and the lights go out, and then all of a sudden they come back up, and then the movie's over, and everybody goes home and thinks someone's taking care of it if they're making a movie about it. But that's why I made the film, because no one's taking care of it, and it's too big for any one person to do alone. I can show you in a pretty interesting way the way it's all connected together and everything in offline, the documentary. But at that point, we need to do something. I think if you see the film, no one will be sitting on the fence thinking that there isn't something they can do. They will want action. Every one of us wants our cell phones and our banking and our water, and our children to be, healthy and to have a future.
All right, so it's realityzone.com/offline.html. I can see, I've pulled that up here right now. And then it says that it is, you can get the DVD for, one is $15.60 and the other is $19.50. I don't know what that means, though.
I don't know what that means either. Maybe if you get a few or something that comes as a deal. Go for the $15 one. I don't know. But whatever, I will tell you, I'm not charging for it. It's going through Reality Zone. So I don't have to pay. But it's worth it. And you know what? If somebody can buy one, and you can have 20 people over to your house and all watch it together, or you can charge them $10 to come watch it for you. But the point is, if we need this information, and that's the only reason I spent so long on it. Is I love my friends, I love my family, and I don't want to see us being, the rug pull out underneath us because of this. And a lot of these industry people, they are aware of this. As I say, the film will explain about liability and why they don't want to come forward and admit it, that they're responsible, because it comes back to being liable. So I see their side too, but at the end of the day, someone has to be held responsible and someone has to be held accountable, and we deserve to be safe.
I absolutely agree, and I greatly appreciate you spending some time with me this evening. And I know you're also an accomplished author, so I'm going to talk to you again in the future in regards to some of your books. But I've enjoyed this conversation, and it was very educational, and I was concerned I was going to be way in over my head, so I greatly appreciate your patience and how you've educated me throughout this process, and I've enjoyed you immensely. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and I do think that's my gift to everybody. I make it simple. I spent many years talking to scientists, and it can be confusing. I bring it down to a manageable, easy subject, and I appreciate you saying that so much.
Absolutely.
And thank you for stepping forward and taking on this subject.
All right, and we're going to watch the trailer again in case anyone just stumbled upon the conversation and they want to revisit or get a better understanding of what we were talking about. So I'm going to turn that trailer on now, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much, and happy holidays.
Thank you very much. You are wonderful.
Bye.
Bye.
Astrophysicists have seen coronal mass ejections 10,000 times the size of the Carrington event. 10,000 times the size.
11 different congressional studies have demonstrated that the power grid's vulnerable, and yet virtually nothing has been done to address it.
And if the electric grid goes down, within days, all the other critical infrastructures will come crashing down too.
If you want to see the economy collapse, unplug the electricity.
We're talking big sums of money as far as the impacts on the economy itself.
It would bankrupt the insurance companies.
We had a meeting at the headquarters of Lloyd's of London where they're the major underwriters to most of the insurance policies. They see the catastrophic liability that may be here for them.
Trifle all you want with stocks and bonds, but if there's no electrical power, there's no economy.
This is so big that people can't get their minds around it. It just may be so shocking.
If our grid goes down, you can't cook, you're not going to heat anything, you can't run any of your medical supplies, you can't talk on your phone, you can't take money out of a bank, and we turn into total chaos.
There have been other documentaries that have talked about EMP. They haven't talked about the politics of EMP. It's the politics of EMP that's going to get us killed.
They are resisting standards because once you levy a standard that they have to protect, for whatever reason the protection is not installed or it fails, then they are liable.
It is the industry writing the rules, is what it is.
That power grid now acts like an antenna.
The wave of magnetic force rides along transmission lines, and it can destroy transformers. You destroy the transformer and you're not operating.
Within a couple of days, maybe 10 days, the refrigerators and the emergency generators in the hospitals run out. All the medicines go bad, all the people on life support die.
This is the ultimate transpartisan issue because we all have a stake in it.
If the entire U.S. power grid collapses, all of us in society are going to be on that crash.
Hello, I'm back. I noticed someone named Josh in the chat room. Oh, there's Judge Janine. This is kind of interesting, and I love Judge Janine, so let's go back to Judge Janine.
People in Washington are collecting contributions from the power companies, from the local electric authorities, so that they can keep their jobs in Washington. We've also got something called the North American Electric Regulatory Commission, which, if you think about it, is crazy because they're both a trade union as well as a regulatory commission. If that isn't the ultimate conflict of interest, I don't know what is. Like, don't regulate them because we want the business. It's crazy. But here's the bottom line. We've got people in Washington who are playing politics with your safety and my safety. And what they're doing is they are ignoring all the blue ribbon commissions and panels and reports that say that our grid can be taken down like that. And they're not doing anything about it, and they're going to lunch with the big power companies. I have never talked like this in my life. This is something that is real, and that if you investigate what's going on, you've got the federal government that's hiding behind a veil of secrecy, saying we can't tell you about this stuff because it's national security, and that's a hogwash, all right? It's a bunch of hogwash because the Russians know about it, the Iranians know about it, the North Koreans know about it, everybody knows about it. And given what's going on in this world today, you don't think the United States is hated? You don't think they hate Westerners and would like to take us down? Pick a country, any country. If a transformer is taken down, get this, we have to order it from Germany or China. It's going to take a year. We don't even have backups in the garage for any of this. We are so vulnerable. People need to understand that if our grid goes down, you can't cook, you're not going to heat anything, you can't run any of your medical supplies, you can't talk on your phone, you can't take money out of a bank, and we turn into total chaos. It's every man or woman for themselves. There's no food. And I'll ask you, if you can't go to a fast food place, or if you can't grow your own food, where are you going to get food from? How long can you last without water? How long can you last without meat or protein? No one is ready for this because the federal government would rather take care of itself, keep the politicians in line, and castigate those people who write articles.
Oh, I tried to call Josh, and he put his phone number in the chat, but the number didn't work. But he gave me a fake number. Story of my life. Hey, let's jump into some local news. Let's look at some highlights from our 5 and 6 o'clock broadcast. Can't believe it's only Wednesday. Just gonna cry. Whoa. All right, let's check out this video from the Donald Trump rally out of Mesa, Arizona.
Making a call just a day, actually hours after the GOP frontrunner debated 8 other candidates in Las Vegas, Donald Trump arrived into the valley. Trump holding a campaign rally at Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, and thousands of Trump supporters gathered in the hangar at the airport to hear from the candidate this afternoon.
And Trump now has Secret Service protection, so security was pretty tight getting into this event. Mark Martinez was there, and he joins us live now with more. What happened, Mark?
Yeah, Troy, everybody going there had to go through metal detectors before they could get into that hangar where the rally was held today. But it was packed with people who want Donald Trump to be the next president. Today, he stuck to his usual stump speech, hitting on topics including immigration, jobs, and gun rights. roaring music playing over the speakers, Donald Trump made a dramatic arrival in Mesa today aboard his private 757 to a crowd of thousands of supporters waiting inside a hangar at Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. After a quick walk from the plane, Trump addressed the crowd for just over an hour.
I'm going to produce jobs. I'm going to take our jobs back from China and Japan and Mexico and all these other places. One of the reasons we've done so well here is because we are going to stop illegal immigration. We have to. We have to. And if we don't stop it, we don't have a country, folks. We don't have a country.
The biggest applause came when Trump said the Paris massacre wouldn't have been as deadly if the victims had guns.
If some of those people had a gun tied to their ankle, or a gun tied right up here to their waist, or a gun right over here, they would have had a hell of a fighting chance, and I guarantee you the result would have been a hell of a lot better.
Trump's supporters seemed energized by seeing him in person.
The more I listen to him, the more I like him, and I like what he has to say. So today was exciting.
I don't fully agree with everything he says, but I think as far as leading this nation, we need a strong leader. I think we haven't had that for a while, and I think it's important that we make America great again.
And again, Trump did not stray too far from his usual topics today, but that did not seem to matter to those who took the time to go see him out there.
Well, finish that thought, Mark Martinez. Finish that thought. But I don't have it because the person that cut my video didn't give it all to me. So we have to end it there. Oh, is this Marcy? I love Marcy. I don't see a reporter. Maybe Marcy's on it later tonight. Let's take a look at this package about a local fundraiser.
I thought we were going to get the cleavage shot one more time, but I guess not. Just once.
No.
The well-known Cave Creek restaurant, the Buffalo Chip, went up in flames nearly a month ago. Many employees of this landmark restaurant are out of a job now while the restaurant is being rebuilt. But tonight, a barbecue fundraiser taking place in Cave Creek to help out Buffalo Chip workers.
It's unreal, you know. I didn't know what to think. It was I just kind of felt like the world was in slow motion.
The general manager of Buffalo Chip says she felt like her world was ending when the restaurant went up in flames on Thanksgiving Day.
I just felt devastated. I can't even explain the feeling of emotions.
More than 100 firefighters responded to the blaze on Thanksgiving morning. Crews from several agencies tried to save the landmark restaurant, but the flames spread too quickly.
You know, we had over 120 employees. Many of these employees, single parents, multiple children, living check to check.
Now a massive outpouring of support from the community. People have organized a fundraiser tonight to help out the Buffalo Chip employees while they're out of work.
Everyone always says, oh, you know, thankfully no one was hurt. Believe me, a lot of people were hurt. And you may not see it right away, but a lot of people were hurt.
A barbecue fundraiser kicked off at 4 o'clock at Frontier Town in Cave Creek. It includes a silent auction and music, and they're also collecting donations for the Foothills Food Bank to help out Buffalo Chip employees.
Thank goodness the food bank was available. There were a number of employees that needed some very quick assistance, and they were there for them.
It is just so harsh that what happened on Thanksgiving Day and is going to carry through the holidays.
This evening's fundraiser to help the Buffalo Chip employees goes on until 9 o'clock tonight at Frontier Town in Cave Creek, and there's not yet a time frame scheduled for rebuilding the saloon and restaurant.
All right, and let's take a look at Dave Muncie. He's wearing a ho-ho-ho tie today. It's adorable. He's going to give us our evening forecast.
AccuWeather forecast with Dave Muncie on Fox 10 News.
Well, hi, everybody. Yeah, the chill is in the air. It's staying in the air. You can kind of see a little bit of a temperature inversion there where we trap in a little bit of that cold air and some of the dirt that goes along with it. 54 degrees. We've got a clear sky. Winds out of the west at 6, 23 degrees on the dew point, 30% on the humidity. These temperatures looking pretty good. Lots of 50s and everything in the mid, a little bit of upper 70s, up in Surprise at 57. Got some low 70s here in Mesa at 52 degrees. And then take a look at it. The high pressure still hanging in there, keeping the skies clear. We do have a little bit of cloud cover. Here once again is the freeze warning for tonight, 11 o'clock this evening until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 56 degrees on the high today, 54 in Scottsdale, 53 at Deer Valley, 54 in Goodyear, 86 is the record, 66 is the normal high temperature, 33 in Flagstaff, 30 at the Grand Canyon, 48 at Globe. Take a look at your day. We went with 56 on the high, 35 on the low, 65 and 44 are your normal high and low. So we're a little bit out of that range. 86 record high for the day, 28 record low for the day. Across the country, well, you can see the low pressure system right here, the front as it rolls through that cold front, kicking off a little bit of rain as it rolls along and dragging some cooler temperatures in behind it as well. Got some pretty good rain down in Monroe, Louisiana at 1 28/100ths of an inch. Pretty good snow in Zeeland, North Dakota. They have 8 inches on the ground up in that area. Steele, North Dakota picking up 6 inches on the day today as well. Temperatures, here's that cold front. It's running right behind St. Louis. You see 60 here, 44 in Omaha, 27 in Bismarck, 28 at Billings, 43 in Seattle, 72 in Atlanta, 70 in Charlotte, and 52 in New York City. Overnight and tomorrow morning, you can see these 30s and 20s in the desert. Yeah, we've got 6 below at the Grand Canyon, 17 at Sedona, so it's cold up there as well. And you can see these daytime temperature highs are going to be a little on the chilly side as well. Well, that'll just be a few days, 36 overnight, 57 degrees for tomorrow. By Saturday, 70 degrees, and you can see right after that we start seeing a little bit of change, mid-60s by Sunday, and we stay with those mid and low 60s for the next week. Watch your kids around water.
Now at 5, 2 people killed when a medical helicopter crashes in the Superstition Mountains. There's the wreckage right there, and a paramedic on board survived that crash.
This happened in a very rough area of the Superstition Mountains, dead east of the valley here. And we'll show you here on this map. So we're looking at Phoenix right here, and then we're going to go directly east up into the Superstition Mountains. I'll put it in 3D for you, and then we'll kind of zoom in. And you can see there's just not much around. And the mountain, this rugged terrain, the helicopter coming to rest right on the side of this mountain right here. So just imagine how long it took rescuers to get into this area. Nicole Garcia is live now with more. Nicole?
Troy, there were a total of 3 crew members on board that medical chopper. They were all part of the Native Air 5 flight crew. The sole survivor, a 38-year-old flight paramedic, is recovering here at the Maricopa Integrated Healthcare System Center. He was brought here last night in critical condition, but his condition has since been upgraded to fair. Sadly, the pilot and the flight nurse did not survive this crash.
2 East Valley families in mourning, another praying for a loved one's recovery after Native Air 5, a medical helicopter, went down in the Superstition Mountains Tuesday night. The pilot, 51-year-old David Schneider, and nurse, 38-year-old Chad Frary, were killed in the crash. Flight paramedic Derek Boehm, the only survivor. Officials say he tried to save the life of one of his coworkers who initially survived, but that victim passed away before help arrived. Here's a picture of the lone survivor from his Facebook page. About 3 hours after the chopper went down, a DPS helicopter crew spotted Boehm waving a flashlight. It was too dangerous for rescue crews to land in the rugged terrain. A military chopper and crew were called to extract Boehm from the wreckage nearly 4 hours after the crash.
This is an air ambulance, and what they do each and every day is to help people, help our families, and for them to go down is a tragedy.
This is video of the chopper, which was posted on the Native Air 5's Facebook page. The helicopter and its crews were well known in the Globe and East Valley. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
And officials say it doesn't appear that the pilot made any kind of distress call before the crash. In fact, the company that operates the medical chopper, Air Methods, only noticed something was wrong when it lost contact with the chopper last night. Air Methods then called on DPS and the Pinal County Sheriff's Department to search for their missing chopper. Investigators with the NTSB and the FAA have been on scene, and so far they haven't released any indication as to what might have caused this crash. Reporting live, I'm Nicole Garcia, Fox 10 News.
Instead of having a holiday party, one company is spending money on people in the community who need it most. And Courtney Griffin tells us more about that.
Shop till you drop on your employer's dime. That's what 300 employees at Healthway got to do today at this Walmart. All for a good cause.
And then one little girl wanted a basketball, so I got her a basketball and a matching sweat outfit with her basketball.
They each got a card with a specialized list from a child or adult.
Well, they put a few things on their list, but you try and imagine who this person is, and you're like, okay, so this is a senior. They go to our fitness classes. Let me get them a workout shirt too, or some workout pants. And
in total, the group spends $25,000 on gifts. Money that would otherwise be used for a company holiday party.
Better than having a holiday party for ourselves. So this is our holiday party.
And once the gifts are sorted here, they're put on the bus and delivered to the Boys and Girls Club of Chandler and seniors today. What are their faces when you deliver these toys? What's that like?
They're tearful. They're excited. They can't believe that somebody who they don't know would buy them a gift.
These employees say giving to others during the holidays is better than any party they could attend.
And we've seen tears every year. They're so excited.
Courtney Griffin, Fox 10 News.
All right, so as a joke, the chat room keeps providing me with their phone numbers. This one was my favorite one so far.
Welcome to the New York City Rejection Line, brought to you by RejectionLine.com. Unfortunately, the person who gave you this number does not want to talk to you or see you again.
Cool.
We would like to take this opportunity to officially reject you.
Thanks.
Our certified rejection specialists are waiting to serve you in your time of need. Please listen carefully to the following menu. Service provided by ESLS. If you want to speak to our comfort specialist, press 1. If you want to hear a sad poem written by a kindred spirit, press 2. Why, oh why, oh why?
It's cool. Real cool, guys. Real cool. You fired. You fired. That was a huge mistake. I did. I got rejected. Whatever. Let's see if Carl's phone number's real. Oh, God. Hi, Carl. How are you? I'm wonderful. You have such a sweet voice. Oh, thanks. Are you on Santa's naughty or nice list? Are you on Santa's naughty or nice list? You're nice. I can tell by your voice. Okay, I'm gonna put you on speaker, but you can't say anything bad, okay? Just I want you to say hi to everyone. Is that all right? Can I trust you, Carl? Okay. Say hi, Carl, but do not say anything bad, Carl. All right, that's all I need. Just so they know that you were actually on the phone. Okay, I'll see you in the chat room. Bye. All right, well, at least Carl pulled through. Carl's our guy. Carl is number one. We appreciate you, Carl. All right, let's jump into, actually, what I wanted to do earlier, but I didn't get to, was the best GIF reactions from the GOP debate. Because, you know, I'm limited on what I can show you because it was CNN's debate. So I cannot show you all of the good stuff, but I can show you GIFs. Oh, it's 4:35 where you are. It's 8:36 p.m. where I am. And you're right, I should have the local time somewhere. But when I'm with you, time stops. That's all that matters. Please stop with this ad, CNN. I'm trying to get my GIF on. Ew, Lindsey Graham, that's a face. Oh. Give me a second, I have to wait for this ad to stop. Wrap it up, wrap it up. Okay, here we go. I think I paused it. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about these. Lindsey Graham. I can't even say what I want to say right now. He looked so well put together last night. He looked just like sharp. Whatever. Number one. The best. Yes. I could watch this forever. I wish this was my background on my computer. What if I read The Night Before Christmas while we looked at these? Ready? Why is my mouse not working? Why must you torment me? PC. This is why I use Macs at home in my spare time. All right. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their head. I'm done. It's not really working. I tried though. Love it. Do you think that if... Oh, now they're friends. Friends? Foes. Oh, this is like naughty list? Nice list. That was fun. There are some clips I can show though, so let's check out the Fox News provided clips that I can show you. Oh, really, Pataki? Santorum? At what point are these guys gonna hang it up?
I would change the policy to reflect what is the best interest of the people that we're asking. I've got a son who's going into the Air Force right now, and as a father, I want to make sure that if he's out there on the front line, and he may be a pilot flying an airplane, I want to make sure that the person who's responsible for his wing has the ability to do the job they're doing. And if they don't have that ability to do the job, if we're doing it social promotion as opposed to what's best for the efficacy of our fighting force and for the survivability of our men and women, I'll change that policy.
I completely disagree with Rick. This is America, and we've made enormous progress. And I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I care if you're good and capable of doing the job. If you can do the job, don't lower standards, don't lower the criteria. But if a woman is capable of doing these jobs, there is no reason why we should deny a patriot who wants to serve and help defend our country that right.
Senator Santorum?
So what you just said is you agree with me. Because that's exactly what I said. I said if you can't do the job, you shouldn't be able to, you shouldn't have the position.
No, you said you would reverse the policy which excluded women from those jobs, whether or not they were able to do that.
No,
that is wrong.
I did not say that, George. I mean, you may have heard that, but I didn't say that. What I said was, if they can, in fact, do the job that any other person can do, I would allow them to do so. But if they cannot, I would reverse the policy.
Interesting. I love to see when they get heated. Let's check out old Lindsey
To
Graham.
my good friend Ted Cruz, please ask him the following question. You say you would keep a side in power. I will tell you that is the worst possible thing that could come out of an American leader's mouth. It would be disastrous. His favorite movie is apparently Princess Bride. Ted, getting in bed with Iran and Russia to save Assad is inconceivable.
Senator Santorum, let me ask you.
Princess Buttercup would not like this.
What's happening? Why is it so quiet? What's this? Why are there no words? What's happening? Why is it so quiet? Why are there no words? Where are the words? Where are the words? Where is the sound? What is happening? Why is it so quiet? This is awkward. What's happening? What is this? Why is this? What's going on? What if the Star Wars song was playing here? Dun, 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 dun. I need words. And so do you.
The prior program only covered a relatively narrow slice of phone calls. When you had a terrorist, you could only search a relatively narrow slice of numbers, primarily landlines. The USA Freedom Act expands that, so now we have cell phones, now we have internet phones, now we have the phones the terrorists are likely to use, and the focus of law enforcement is on targeting the bad guys.
There is nothing that we are allowed to do under this bill that we could not do before. This bill did, however, take away a valuable tool that allowed the National Security Agency and other intelligence agencies to quickly and rapidly access phone records and match them up with other phone records to see who terrorists have been calling. Because I promise you, the next time there is an attack on this country, the first thing people are going to want to know is, why didn't we know about it and why didn't we stop it? And the answer better not be because we didn't have access to records or information that would have allowed us to identify these killers before they attacked.
Well, look at that face at the end. Look at that swaggy. Cruz is like, nope.
Killers before they attacked.
I wish someone would throw a chair.
Bring back the warrior class. Petraeus, McChrystal, Mattis, Keene, Flynn. Every single one of these generals I know, every one was retired early because they told President Obama things that he didn't want to hear. We must have Sunni Arabs involved in this coalition. We must commit leadership, strength, support, and resolve. I'll just add that Margaret Thatcher once said, if you want something talked about, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Thank you.
Not only are we prepared to do it, I would do it. A no-fly zone means a no-fly zone. Wolf, that's what it means. See, maybe because I'm from New Jersey, I just have this kind of plain language hang-up, but I would make very clear, I would not talk to Vladimir Putin. In fact, I would talk to Vladimir Putin a lot. And I'd say to him, listen, Mr. President, there's a no-fly zone in Syria. You fly in, it applies to you. And yes, we would shoot down the planes of Russian pilots if, in fact, they were stupid enough to think that this president was the same feckless weakling that the president we have in the Oval Office is right now.
Senator Paul. Senator Paul, I want you to respond to what we just heard from Governor Christie. If there was a no-fly zone, you say that potentially could lead to World War III. Why?
Well, I think if you're in favor of World War III, you have your candidate. You know, here's the thing. My goodness, what we want in a leader is someone with judgment, not someone who is so reckless as to stand on the stage and say, yes, I'm jumping up and down. I'm going to shoot down Russian planes. Russia already flies in that airspace. It may or may not be something we're in love with the fact that they're there, but they were invited by Iraq and by Syria to fly in that airspace. And so if we announce that we're going to have a no-fly zone, and others have said this, Hillary Clinton's also for it, it is a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for World War III. We need to confront Russia from a position of strength, but we don't need to confront Russia from a point of recklessness that would lead to war.
I'm from New Jersey. I just have this kind of plain language hang-up, but I would make very clear, I would not talk to Vladimir Putin. In fact, I would talk to Vladimir Putin a lot. And I'd say to him, listen, Mr. President, there's a no-fly zone in Syria. You fly in, it applies to you. And yes, we would shoot down the planes of Russian pilots if, in fact, they were stupid enough to think that this president was the same feckless weakling that the president we have in the Oval Office is right now.
We got an awful lot of problems in this country right now. And, you know, we've got millions of people living in poverty. We've got all this hatred going on and division. We've got some severe economic issues that are going to affect everybody in our society. If we dealt with those things, and if we strengthen our military, and if we create a much better relationship between our allies, it strengthens us and makes it possible for us to solve those problems around the world much more readily.
If we could get Saddam out of Kuwait, which was not a good thing, this is totally unbelievable because ISIS is an existential threat to everybody. They're an existential threat to Saudi Arabia, to Jordan, to the Gulf states, to Egypt. And I think that's why the Arabs are coming together now saying we have to defeat terrorism. So I think it's a great opportunity for us. And if we don't assert ourselves and bring the West along with the Arabs, I will tell you, you will remember I said this, Sean, we will pay a lot more later when we finally go aggressively than if we go soon.
Been disconnected. If you can.
We have to be much tougher. We have to be much stronger than we've been. We have people that know what's going on. You take a look at just the attack in California the other day. There were numerous people, including the mother, that knew what was going on. They saw pipe bombs sitting all over the floor. They saw ammunition all over the place. They knew exactly what was going on. When you had the World Trade Center go, people were put into planes that were friends, family, girlfriends, and they were put into planes and they were sent back, for the most part, to Saudi Arabia. They knew what was going on. They went home and they wanted to watch their boyfriends on television. I would be very, very firm with families. And frankly, that will make people think, because they may not care much about their lives, but they do care, believe it or not, about their families' lives.
Donald, this is Governor Bush.
This is another example of the lack of seriousness. Look, this is troubling because we're at war. They've declared war on us, and we need to have a serious strategy to destroy ISIS. But the idea that that is a solution to this is just crazy. It makes no sense to suggest this. Look, 2 months ago, Donald Trump said that ISIS was not our fight, just 2 months ago. He said that Hillary Clinton would be a great negotiator with Iran. And he gets his foreign policy experience from the shows.
Come on,
that is not a serious kind of candidate. We need someone that thinks this through, that can lead our country to safety and security.
Mr. Trump.
Look, the problem is we need toughness. Honestly, I think Jeb is a very nice person. He's a very nice person, but we need tough people. We need toughness. We need intelligence, and we need tough. Jeb said when they come across the southern border, they come as an act of love.
You said in September 30th that ISIS was not a
Am I talking or are you talking, Jeb?
I'm talking right now. I'm talking.
You can go back. You're not talking. You interrupted me,
September 30th,
Are you going to apologize, Jeb? No. Am I allowed to finish?
Yes, one at a time.
Excuse me. Am I allowed to finish?
Go ahead, Mr. Trump.
So,
little of your
again,
own medicine there.
I know you're trying to build
Bush,
up your energy,
please.
Jeb, but it's not working
one at a time.
Yeah.
Look. We need a toughness. We need strength. We're not respected as a nation anymore. We don't have that level of respect that we need. And if we don't get it back fast, we're just going to go weaker, and just disintegrate. We can't allow that to happen. We need strength. We don't have it. When Jeb comes out and he talks about the border, and I saw it, and I was witness to it, and so was everyone else, and I was standing there, they come across as an act of love. He's saying the same thing right now with radical Islam. And we can't have that in our country. It just won't work. We need strength.
Governor Bush.
Donald, you're not going to be able to insult your way to the presidency. That's not going to happen. And I do have...
There are at least 3,500 American Muslims serving in the armed forces. Thank you for your service. You are not the enemy. Your religion is not the enemy. Let me make this real to you. I was at the second presidential election in Afghanistan. The guy guarding me was an American Muslim sergeant in the Army who grew up in Kabul, left when he graduated high school, joined the U.S. Army, went back to his high school where they were doing polling, people voting. He took me there. He cried like a baby. I cried like a baby. He is the solution to this problem, folks. He is not the problem. Leave the faith alone. Go after the radicals that kill us all.
To the New York City Rejection Line, brought to you by RejectionLine.com.
All over America, I hear young people say, would you tell me what you're going to do? Will you give me free college? Will you make sure that I can have medical marijuana? You know what I think we ought to tell young people? We aren't going to give you anything. We're going to give you the opportunity to get off your butt and go serve your country and secure your freedom, because if you don't, nobody else is.
To target a religion and say that regardless of whether you're an American soldier who's fought on our side or allies we have overseas, simply because of your religion, we're going to ban you, is un-American, it is unconstitutional, and it is wrong. And by the way, Wolf, you know, there was a group that tried to do that 150, 160 years ago. They were called the Know Nothing Party. They wanted to ban Catholics. They thought they were going to destroy America. Well, Donald Trump is the Know Nothing candidate of the 21st century and cannot be our nominee. I fault Hillary and Obama as well, because by not distinguishing between Muslims and radicalized jihadists, by refusing to acknowledge that it is radical Muslim, radical Islamists who are carrying out these attacks against America, they let Americans who are confused and angry lump everyone together. We have to embrace the Muslims who embrace our freedom and living in safety. We have to destroy those who embrace jihad and want to engage in violence against us, here or abroad.
I didn't mean to click that. I'm trying to find our Fox 10 Facebook update. It'll give you a breakdown of our top stories of the day, likely stories you saw on our 5 and 6 o'clock broadcast, and some coming up on our 9 and 10 o'clock broadcast. But you know, I never know what I'm doing or where I'm going. I'm just lost.
I'm Carrie Lake with a look at your Fox 10 Facebook News update. A paramedic survives the crash of a medical helicopter that killed the pilot and a flight nurse about 12 miles north of Superior, Arizona. The chopper went down last night as it was returning to Globe from an airport in Mesa. Crews dealing with freezing conditions as they worked to rescue the lone survivor, identified as 38-year-old Derek Boehm of Gilbert. The pilot who died was 51-year-old David Schneider, and the nurse killed in the wreck was 38-year-old Chad Frary of Mesa. The helicopter was operated by a company called Air Methods. The NTSB is now investigating. Fresh off of last night's fiery GOP debate in Las Vegas, Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump holds a campaign rally right here in Arizona in the East Valley. A lot of supporters showed up to Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, where Trump spoke at a hangar for international air response. Outside of the event, a group of protesters spoke out against Trump. They included these boys from Brophy College Preparatory School. Fox 10's Linda Williams tweeted this image of the teens. You can watch Trump's entire speech on our YouTube channel. A Valley man learns his punishment today for the death of his 6-year-old nephew who witnessed his father's murder. A judge sentenced Christopher Lacone to life in prison. He also got an additional 36 years for killing his half-brother Angel Jaquez 5 years ago during a drug dispute. Check out what happened this morning when the National Weather Service in Flagstaff threw hot water into the air. It was minus 13 degrees outside. Temps in the valley this morning chilly as well, ranging from 26 to 36 degrees. Similar conditions expected tomorrow morning. And be sure to join us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and share your news and weather, photos and videos using the hashtag Fox10Phoenix. Have a great day.
Free Gucci. That's what that sign says. That boy followed me on Twitter. And he wants to come in tomorrow for an interview. Oh man, he does not know. My chat room is tough. He doesn't even know what he's going to get himself into. But let's do it. Let's just do it. So the kid, this one, that was protesting at the Trump rally. This guy. He asked if he could come in and talk to us, and I said sure. So he's going to come in at some point tomorrow, and you guys are probably going to regulate, I imagine. Ale, I see you requesting a weather update, and all I have is the one from earlier, but I'm happy to give you that.
AccuWeather forecast with Dave Muncy on Fox 10 News.
Well, hi, everybody. Yeah, the chill is in the air. It's staying in the air. You can kind of see a little bit of a temperature inversion there where we trap in a little bit of that cold air and some of the dirt that goes along with it. 54 degrees. We've got a clear sky. Winds out of the west at 6, 23 degrees on the dew point, 30% on the humidity. These temperatures looking pretty good. Lots of 50s and everything in the mid, a little bit of upper 70s up in Surprise at 57. Got some low 70s here in Mesa at 52 degrees. And then take a look at it. The high pressure still hanging in there, keeping the skies clear. We do have a little bit of cloud cover. Here once again is the freeze warning for tonight, 11 o'clock this evening until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 56 degrees on the high today, 54 in Scottsdale, 53 at Deer Valley, 54 in Goodyear, 86 is the record, 66 is the normal high temperature, 33 in Flagstaff, 30 at the Grand Canyon, 48 at Globe. Take a look at your day. We went with 56 on the high, 35 on the low, 65 and 44 are your normal high and low, so we're a little bit out of that range. 86 record high for the day, 28 record low for the day. Across the country, well, you can see the low pressure system right here, the front as it rolls through that cold front kicking off a little bit of rain as it rolls along and dragging some cooler temperatures in behind it as well. Got some pretty good rain down in Monroe, Louisiana at 1 28/100 of an inch. Pretty good snow in Zeeland, North Dakota. They have 8 inches on the ground up in that area. Steele, North Dakota, picking up 6 inches on the day today as well. Temperatures, here's that cold front. It's running right behind St. Louis. You see 60 here, 44 in Omaha, 27 in Bismarck, 28 at Billings, 43 in Seattle, 72 in Atlanta, 70 in Charlotte, and 52 in New York City. Overnight and tomorrow morning, you can see these 30s and 20s in the desert. Yeah, we've got 6 below at the Grand Canyon, 17 at Sedona, so it's cold up there as well. And you can see these daytime temperature highs are going to be a little on the chilly side as well. Well, that'll just be a few days. 36 overnight, 57 degrees for tomorrow. By Saturday, 70 degrees. And you can see right after that, we start seeing a little bit of change. Mid-60s by Sunday, and we stay with those mid and low 60s for the next week. Watch your kids around water.
How's that for a weather update? Ah! Did it blow your mind? I don't like when I see 70s. It's supposed to be Christmas. I like those 60-degree days. I'm all about that 40-degree life. I like wearing layers. I like coats. I like turtlenecks. Kid doesn't know what a hornet's nest he's stirring up. Preach. Tomorrow's going to be fun. If you participate, if you come back tomorrow. Yeah, Trump never even smoked. Yeah, Trump, I believe it was in the interview with his, I believe it was in an interview with his, oh no, it was Barbara Walters. He stressed that he said he wasn't a very cool dad because he used to always tell his children, do not smoke, do not drink. And they dreaded that conversation because he regurgitated it all the time. But he said that because he always had that conversation, that they were good kids. And he thinks that that's why they're a success today. Hey, it's 9 o'clock. It's actually 9:03. And that means I've been here for 3 minutes longer than I am required to. So I'm going to go ahead and leave. I will be back tomorrow. We are Fox 10 News Now, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we are Monday through Friday. Do not get a Kinsey tattoo. I do not recommend that, but I appreciate the thought. Oh, I don't know yet, Marty, but I am here. I'm on 3 to 5 and then 7 to 9. And so I asked him if he could come in between those hours. He said yes. So I will... Really, Al? Really? I was not late for work, Ryan. Who said that? You guys. No Kinsey tattoos. I beg of you. All right, I'm gonna go home now. I'm going to shut down. I'm shutting down. I'm going home now. Thanks so much for spending your evening with me. I enjoyed you. It was fun. I especially enjoyed that holiday boat parade. I'll see you tomorrow. I do love you. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to the New York City Rejection Line, brought to you by RejectionLine.com. Unfortunately, the person who gave you this number does not want to talk to you or see you again. We would like to take this opportunity to officially reject you. Our certified rejection specialists are waiting to serve you in your time of need. Please listen carefully to the following menu. Service provided by EFLS. If you want to speak to our comfort specialist, press 1. If you want to hear a sad poem written by a kindred spirit, press 2. If you want to cling to the unrealistic hope that a relationship is still possible, press 3. If you want to set up a personal voicemail account, press 4.
Hey, Pumpkin. I know this hurts. I know. The mean-spirited individual who gave you this number does not know you, the real you, the you behind the mask. You do, don't you? Now I want you to find that little sad child, pick it up by the bootstraps, and keep plugging, camper. There are plenty of fish in the sea, and you're a fisher extraordinaire. Being alone is okay, too.
That got weird. It got really weird. I didn't like it.